The morning light slips gently through the window. You sit in your favorite chair, a cup of tea warming your hands. Outside, the day is quiet, soft, and full of promise. You lift your arm to reach for the window latch, and there it is again. That little pull, that slow reminder that your shoulder isn't what it used to be. You pause for a moment, feeling the stiffness. It's not pain, not exactly. Just a whisper from your body, saying it needs a little care, a little time, a little movement. You breathe in slowly, letting the air fill your chest. You exhale, and the weight of years seems to ease just a little. This isn't about chasing youth anymore. It's about moving gently through the moments that still belong to you. Your body has carried you through so much: laughter, work, memories. It deserves kindness now. So today we stretch. Not fast, not forced, but slow and mindful. This is your space to breathe, to move, to find comfort again in your shoulders, and maybe in yourself. Let's begin together. Anna wakes before the sun most mornings. The house is quiet, the world still wrapped in a sleepy calm. She moves slowly, her feet finding the same path to the kitchen. The kettle hums, soft and steady, filling the silence with warmth. Her hands know this rhythm. They've done it for years. But lately, something else has joined the routine. A small, stubborn ache in her right shoulder. It started as a whisper, almost easy to ignore. Just a tiny twinge when she reached for her cup on the top shelf. But over time, that whisper became a murmur, a quiet complaint. She thought it would pass. A few days, maybe a week. It didn't. Now, when she stretches her arm, it feels tight, almost locked. The brush she used to hold with grace now feels heavier than it should. Painting was her joy once, colors spilling across canvas, stories told in strokes. Now, even lifting the brush is a struggle. She misses it, the way her shoulder moved without thought, without fear. Sometimes she stands by the window, watching the sky change from pale pink to gold. She thinks about how movement used to feel easy, like breathing. Her body used to follow her heart without hesitation. Now it hesitates first. She sighs, gently rolling her shoulder, hopping for relief. The joint feels tight, but beneath it she senses something else. A longing, not just for movement, but for freedom. Freedom to move, to reach, to live without that small reminder of time. One morning she sees a neighbor walking by, stretching slowly by the garden gate. The movements are soft, almost like a dance. No rush, no force. Just rhythm and breath. Anna watches, curious. She steps outside, the cool air touching her face. Her neighbor smiles. Slow stretches, she says. They help, especially the shoulders. Anna nods, though unsure. She's never thought of stretching as something more than exercise. But there's something peaceful in the way her neighbor moves. Like she's not fighting her body, she's listening to it. That night, Anna sits by her bedside lamp, searching for guidance. She finds videos, soft-voiced instructors guiding older bodies through gentle motion. Slow shoulder rolls, deep breathing, gentle reaches. She mimics them carefully, the way a beginner learns to trust again. At first it feels strange. Her shoulder resists, stiff and cautious. But with each breath, it loosens a little. Each motion feels like a quiet conversation with herself. Her body, once ignored, is speaking again. Days pass, then weeks. She keeps moving, slow and patient. Every morning, she greets the sunrise with small stretches. Not perfect, but present. The ache doesn't vanish, but it softens. Her brush feels lighter in her hand. And when she paints again, her strokes are slower but deeper. Every color feels earned. Anna smiles, realizing that healing doesn't come from rushing. It comes from listening to the whisper of the shoulder, to the rhythm of breath. And for the first time in a long while, she feels at home in her own body. The shoulder is a quiet storyteller. It remembers everything you've carried. Not just bags or boxes, but moments, memories, emotions. Every time you reached out in love or pulled back in fear, it remembered. Every hug, every fall, every heavy day. All of it stored, folded neatly into muscle and bone. Over the years, those stories began to weigh more. They pressed into the tissues, tightening, shaping the way you move. Sometimes it starts with something simple, a long day at a desk. Sometimes it's a lifetime of giving, lifting, holding on. And slowly, without you noticing, the shoulder begins to whisper. Not in pain, but in language. A language of stiffness, of limits. It's your body's way of saying, I'm here, please notice me. Anna began to understand this as she moved. Each stretch felt like reading an old letter. Her shoulder spoke quietly through small cracks of motion. She realized she had spent years silencing it, working through discomfort, forgetting to rest, ignoring the gentle signs of tension that built like quiet storms. Now she listens. Each slow roll of her arm is an act of forgiveness, not just to her body, but to herself. Because we all forget to listen sometimes. We push through aches, calling them normal. We believe that slowing down means stopping. But the body doesn't ask us to stop. It asks us to soften, to be patient, to remember that healing isn't found in force, but in awareness. When Anna stretches now, she feels the layers of her life unfold. There's the day she carried her groceries alone, refusing help. There's the time she painted for 6 hours straight, lost in color. There's the tension of years spent caring for others more than herself. And beneath it all, there's gratitude. The shoulder, after all, has never given up. It still holds, still supports, still waits for kindness. The more she listens, the more she feels. Her breath moves deeper. Her joints respond with warmth. Even the smallest motion feels meaningful. She learns that stretching isn't just about flexibility. It's about attention, awareness, the slow noticing of what's been hidden beneath hurry. She rolls her shoulder again, gently, eyes closed. There's a sound soft, almost like a sigh. It's not pain. It's release. The shoulder is speaking, and she's finally answering. It tells her, I've been waiting for you. She smiles, whispering back, I'm here now. Every stretch becomes a quiet reunion between body and mind. Each breath becomes a bridge, connecting what once felt distant. In that stillness, she finds something sacred, a truth she'd almost forgotten. The body never stops trying to heal. It just needs time, patience, and gentle listening. And in those quiet moments of movement, Anna rediscovers her strength, not in power but in peace. The morning light drifts through the curtains, soft and golden. Anna sits on her mat, the air still and calm. She closes her eyes, letting her breath find its rhythm. Inhale, exhale. It's simple but powerful. Her shoulders rise slightly with each breath, then fall like waves returning to shore. She feels the air move through her chest, quiet and warm. The sound of breathing becomes music, steady, patient, kind. She's learning that before movement comes awareness. Before stretching, there must be stillness. It's not about doing more. It's about feeling deeper. Her instructor's voice echoes in her memory. Breathe first, the body follows the breath. Anna lets that thought settle like a seed. She inhales again, longer this time. Her chest expands, ribs opening, air flowing where it once hesitated. Exhaling, she feels her shoulders sink, melting into calm. The tension she once ignored begins to soften. The breath carries it away, little by little. She rolls her neck gently, slow circles that match her breathing. The muscles hum quietly, waking up from years of silence. It's not pain, it's presence. She brings her focus to her hands resting on her thighs. They feel warm, steady, alive. She imagines her breath traveling from her chest to her shoulders, filling every corner with light. Each inhale brings space. Each exhale releases what no longer serves. She feels the difference, subtle but real. The stiffness begins to speak a new language. It's no longer resistance, but cooperation. Her body begins to trust her again. She tilts her head gently to one side, breathing into the stretch. There's a quiet pull, a reminder of how much she's held. The breath moves with it, like a hand soothing a tired friend. She switches sides, slow and mindful, keeping her movements in rhythm. Inhale as she lifts, exhale as she lowers. It becomes a dance between breath and motion, a flow without rush or force. The world outside fades. There's only her and the steady rise and fall of her lungs. Anna smiles softly, eyes still closed. She realizes how much of life she spent holding her breath, through stress, through effort, through silence. Now she lets it go. Each exhale feels like forgiveness. Each inhale feels like renewal. She opens her eyes and lifts her arms slightly, testing the space around her. The air feels lighter, her body more awake. The stiffness is still there, but it feels softer now, less like a wall and more like a door. She knows this is just the beginning. The breath has opened the way. And as she sits there, heart steady, shoulders relaxed, she whispers quietly to herself, "Breathe, move, begin again." And with that, Anna takes one more deep, slow breath, her first true step toward freedom. Anna stands in front of the mirror, her mat spread across the floor. The morning light rests gently on her shoulders. She rolls them once slowly, feeling the familiar tightness. It's still there but softer, quieter than before. She takes a breath, deep and calm, letting it guide her movement. Her body has become her teacher now. She begins with slow shoulder rolls, forward and back. Each motion feels like brushing away the weight of old days. The circles are small, almost delicate but filled with intention. She imagines tension sliding off her skin, falling silently to the floor. Her breath keeps rhythm, slow and steady. Inhale as the shoulders rise. Exhale as they sink. After a few rounds, warmth spreads through her arms. She pauses, smiling at the gentle pulse of life returning. Next, she extends her right arm out to the side. Not too high, just enough to feel the stretch whisper through the joint. Her fingertips reach toward the light, then slowly lower again. The motion is smooth, like painting across the air. She switches sides, left arm rising, shoulders balanced, breath deep. It's not about perfection. It's about feeling. She lets her breath and movement merge into one quiet flow. Her next motion is simple, tilting her head slightly to the right. The muscles along her neck and shoulder hum with gentle awareness. She breathes into the stretch, patient and kind. Each inhale feels like opening space. Each exhale releases what's been held too long. Then she clasps her hands behind her back. The movement is small but full of courage. Her fingers interlace, palms pressing lightly. She lifts her arms just a little, chest opening, shoulders drawing back. A slow wave of air fills her lungs. She feels tall, strong, grounded. It's not a stretch of strength, it's a stretch of grace. She holds it, breathing softly, then releases. A sigh escapes, and it sounds like relief. Finally, she crosses her arms over her chest, wrapping herself in a gentle hug. Her hands touch her upper back, feeling warmth through the skin. It's a strange kind of comfort, simple, honest healing. Her breath moves between her arms, filling the space she's created for herself. She whispers, "Thank you." Not to anyone else, but to her own body. For carrying her. For trying. for forgiving her impatience. She stays there for a moment, eyes closed, heart full. The stretch is no longer an exercise. It's a conversation, soft and full of love. When she finally lowers her arms, her shoulders feel lighter. Not loose like before, but alive. She moves them once more, gently testing the freedom she's earned. The stiffness hasn't vanished, but it's no longer the enemy. It's just part of her learning, changing, healing. She smiles in the mirror, her breath calm, her body at peace. This, she realizes, is what moving slowly truly means. It's not about reaching further. It's about returning home to yourself. The days begin to flow with a new rhythm. Anna's mornings are no longer rushed or quiet with ache. They begin with breath, with small movements, with gratitude. Each stretch feels like a gentle reminder that she's still growing. Her body, though slower now, is wiser than it's ever been. She moves through her practice with a calm kind of grace. The same hands that once held brushes now trace invisible patterns in the air. Her shoulders, once tight and guarded, open like doors to sunlight. She realizes something beautiful. This isn't just a routine. It's a form of remembering, a way of speaking to herself in a language beyond words. Every movement becomes an offering. Every breath a quiet thank you. As she rolls her shoulders back, she feels memories rise. The years she worked late nights, lifting stacks of papers and plans. The times she hugged her children, holding them close and safe. The moments she carried grief, unseen but heavy. Each one lives somewhere in her body. Each one softens now beneath her patience. She begins to see how emotion lives in motion. When she stretches, she isn't just loosening muscles. She's untangling old stories. Stories of care, of worry, of strength disguised as silence. Her body has been her journal all along. It kept everything she forgot to say out loud. And now, with every slow shoulder roll, she's reading it again. But this time without judgment. Without hurry. Just love. She pauses between stretches to rest her palms on her heart. She feels it beating. Steady and strong. She whispers softly, "Thank you for staying." The sound barely fills the room, but it fills her completely. The ache in her shoulder has changed. It's not gone, but it feels kinder now. Like an old friend who's finally been heard. The pain was never punishment, it was communication. A message she had ignored too long. Now she listens deeply. She moves slower but with purpose. Every inhale lifts her spirit. Every exhale grounds her back into her body. She notices small changes, her reach a little higher, her movement smoother. But the greatest change isn't in her shoulder. It's in her heart. She's no longer chasing youth or perfection. She's embracing the beauty of still being here, still able to move. Her stretches have become moments of prayer, of gratitude, of peace. She ends each session by resting her hands on her shoulders, smiling. She thinks of all they've done for her, all they've held, all they've endured. And she promises to be gentle with them from now on. In that promise there is healing. In that slowness there is freedom. For the first time in years, Anna doesn't just move, she feels alive. Completely, quietly, beautifully alive. The days have grown softer since Anna began her slow shoulder stretches. Her mornings are filled with light, with breath, with a quiet kind of joy. She no longer rushes to start the day. Instead, she begins with a promise, to move gently, to move with love. Each stretch feels like a small celebration of being alive. She's learned to weave it into her life, as naturally as her morning tea. Sometimes she stretches by the window, watching the sky change color. Sometimes she moves in silence, her breath the only sound in the room. The habit has become a ritual, one that connects her to something deeper. It's no longer about the shoulder. It's about awareness, patience, and grace. She's discovered that movement is a form of gratitude. The body says thank you with every roll, every reach, every breath. Her neighbor, the one who first showed her the slow stretches, visits sometimes. They stretch together in the garden, the air cool and fresh. Their laughter drifts between the trees, light and effortless. Both women move slowly, but with confidence now. They talk about life, about aging, about how time softens when you stop resisting it. Anna realizes she no longer fears getting older. She's learned that age isn't a wall, it's a window. A new way of seeing, of feeling, of living. Each day she moves a little easier, not because she's stronger, but because she's kinder. She treats her body like a friend, not a machine to be fixed. She no longer forces her stretches. She invites them. Every motion begins with breath, ends with gratitude. And that rhythm follows her through the day. When she reaches for a cup, she remembers to breathe. When she lifts her arm to hang her clothes, she moves with awareness. When she paints again, her brush flows in smooth, graceful lines. The stiffness once held her back, but now it guides her forward. It reminds her to slow down, to feel, to be present. The more she listens, the more her body opens. It's not just flexibility returning, it's trust. She trusts her body to carry her. Her body trusts her to care. They are partners again. Evening comes and Anna sits outside, the sky glowing in shades of gold. She rolls her shoulders one last time, gently, easily. There's no resistance now, only flow. Her breath moves like a soft wind through the leaves. She thinks of all the mornings that began with tightness and ended in peace. She smiles, realizing the lesson her shoulder taught her. Healing isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about remembering what's whole. It's about patience, breath, and gentle care. She closes her eyes, whispering, "Thank you, body, I hear you now." The wind carries her words, quiet and true. Tomorrow she will stretch again, not because she must, but because she can. Because movement, slow and mindful, has become her way of living. And in that slowness she has found freedom. The sun sets slowly, painting the room in soft gold. Anna sits by the window, her breath calm and steady. Her shoulders move easily now, light as drifting clouds. She feels warmth where pain once lived. It's not just comfort, it's connection. Each stretch has become a quiet thank you to her own resilience. She smiles, remembering how it all began, a whisper of stiffness, a simple choice to listen. Now, that whisper has turned into harmony. Her body and her breath move as one, gentle and sure. Outside, the evening hums with peace. She closes her eyes, letting gratitude fill the spaces between her bones. The years no longer feel heavy on her shoulders. They rest there softly, like memories she's made peace with. She whispers to herself, "I am still learning, still moving, still alive." And in that moment she knows healing isn't loud. It's quiet. It's patient. It's found in every breath, every slow stretch, every moment of grace. She lifts her arm once more, slow and steady. Not to test her strength, but to celebrate it. And as the light fades, she feels free.